This year's National Truck Driver Appreciation Awareness Week is going to be going on right on through Sunday. And Americans in all 50 states have taken extraordinary steps to show their appreciation for the important work that the drivers have done as we navigate through the coronavirus pandemic. And of course, the great folks at J.B. Hunt are celebrating the American truck driver with Truck Driver Appreciation Awareness Week. It is great to welcome to the North American microphones. Welcome back, Craig Harper and Shelley Simpson. And you guys, of course, know that Shelley is the Executive Vice President, Chief Commercial Officer, President of Highway Services at J.B. Hunt Transport, and Craig Harper, Executive VP and Chief Operations Officer. He joined the company back in 1992, and over his nearly 30 years at J.B. Hunt has been a major force in driving the safety culture that the company is known for today. And Craig and Shelley, want to welcome you both to the program. I really appreciate you joining us here to talk about what is going on, and it's really an incredible week for the drivers out there. Welcome to you both, and let's talk about a welcome message for the drivers and Driver Appreciation Week. Craig, let's start with you. It is really an incredible time to salute the American truck driver.
Yeah, Mark, can't wait to talk to these drivers and thank them so much for what they do. All of you out there, all the listeners, all of the drivers, seriously, this whole country is so indebted to how you performed over the past few months going through this whole pandemic. We couldn't be more proud of our industry, and just thank you so much. It is Driver Appreciation Week, but really, driver appreciation, we all know, needs to go on not just a week, not just a month, but each and every day. And I want to say thank you very much from all of us here at J.B. Hunt.
And Shelley, welcome to the program. Welcome back. And really, there's a lot of great things going on. What is J.B. Hunt doing for the drivers this week? Talk about that, if you will. Welcome to the show.
Mark, I'm going to take that, and I'll just,
Okay.
This is such a crazy year. We've heard it so many times, all these terms like unprecedented, never before, and new way of doing business, but it is crazy. And even during this week, it's, you have to find different ways to show the appreciation for the driver, because normally what we are doing is we have many people out there shaking hands, passing out prizes and food and having cookouts and having huge events at the different Six Flags across the country. And we can't do that this year. So we are doing several things, such as raffle prizes, gift bags. We sent hats, which we do every year, and drivers, that have been here for some time can't wait to get those hats to see the new look and all. But giving out a lot of box lunches, coolers with food, some swag. But no question, it's a different event this year. So can't wait to be more hands-on with all the drivers and go back to the old way of doing business.
It was about a year or so ago, Craig, that I was out at the Arkansas Truck Driving Championships. First time for me to be out there, and what a great experience, and to be out there with all of the drivers. And it was really great to see you cheering on the J.B. Hunt team that was participating in the Truck Driving Championships. And that's really a great feeling when you get out there and you talk with the drivers and get a feel as to what's going on. Really good to get out there and meet the folks firsthand, right?
Yeah, if I remember correctly, you were the keynote speaker at that event that night. So
yes,
we
sir.
appreciate you coming in and doing that. But yeah, it just wasn't me out there cheering. You wouldn't believe all the office people that came out. And they brought their parents and grandparents and kids, and were cheering, and the drivers' wives and spouses, and just everybody having a great time and cooking out and watching that event all day. And again, that got canceled this year, so we hate that. And just another huge event that was postponed this year, and we had to find another way of honoring those drivers. Was our million-mile drivers. And as you know, because you've been here, Mark, and Sirius
Sure.
has been very kind to broadcast live from our 2, 3, 4, and now 5 million-mile event. And again, we had to roll that into next year. So again, found ways to be sure and honor those drivers, sending them out, a tablet and lots of videos loaded up on it. But still, it's not the same as having them here. And you saw it. Walk through the hallways and down
Oh, yeah.
the stairwell, everybody greeting them and yelling and celebrating with them, and we just can't wait to get back to that.
It was really an incredible experience to see all of the drivers coming down the staircase there, and also the family members that were there cheering them on. And Craig, that was really inspirational to see, mom and dad, grandparents, children, all celebrating the drivers out there. Really an incredible event with the staircase celebration.
Well, we've now had more than right at 4,000 drivers, over 3,800 drivers that have had a $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, $4 million, now $5 million mile award. And, they receive money at each award step. It starts off at $5,000, it goes to $10,000, then $20,000, then $40,000, and now $50,000. And you add all that up, we've now paid out over $30 million in safe driving awards. And so pleased to be able to do that and honor these great men and women. And like you said, bring their family members in and everybody enjoy in the celebration. So, again, can't wait to do that live next year.
When you look at the overall success of the company, Craig, it has really grown at a tremendous pace, and it's due to the hard work of the drivers out there. Talk about that, about the hard work and dedication they've got into doing the job. What about that?
Well, we have roughly 30,000 employees and 20,000 are drivers, and you go out there and I'm in the room here with Shelley and Greer, and we've all gone out and ridden with our drivers and see the work that they do each and every day. And when I'm with a driver, I'll laugh about it and say, look, I can come out here and act all tough and do it for 2 days, 3 days, or 4 days. But being able to do that each and every day and to stay alert, navigate the highways, and with all the congestion and the weather, it's just amazing that they do it. And the one good thing that's come out of all this pandemic is really the appreciation that people have shown for the driver. And when you talk to your neighbors and all, and they'll tell you this year more than any other year, we are so thankful for what all the men and women do that are associated with your company and in this industry. And people couldn't wait to see those trucks come in with water, food, medical supplies, and oh yes, the infamous toilet paper. But it's drivers really have been appreciated more this year than any other, and we just hope that a great deal of that sticks with this industry going forward.
All right, I've got a break here for just a few minutes, Craig, and when we come back on the other side of the break, let's talk a few minutes about what the company is doing as far as hiring drivers, bringing drivers on board, and some bonus updates. I'll keep you on for just a couple of minutes on the other side, and then bring on board Shelley Simpson to talk about freight demand. What is the industry doing as far as the freight movement is concerned? Shelley's going to do a deep dive into consumer spending. What does it look like? We're going to talk about construction. That is booming as well. That's adding to both flatbed demand and demand for workers. So we got a lot of good stuff coming up. If you want to be part of the conversation, phone number to call in, it's 888-876-2336. I've got the great folks on from J.B. Hunt, and we're celebrating Truck Driver Appreciation Awareness Week. It is a week to recognize and celebrate the men and women out there driving the trucks out there across this great land of ours.
Welcome back to Road Dog Trucking's Driver Appreciation Week special broadcast with Mark Willis.
All right, guys, welcome back to the program. Yeah, we are celebrating Truck Driver Appreciation Awareness Week with the great folks at J.B. Hunt. Craig Harper has been on. The Executive Vice President and Chief Operations Officer, Shelley Simpson, is going to be joining us as well. And Craig, before we bring Shelley on, I wanted to ask you real quick about what the company's doing as far as driver hiring, bonus updates. It's a good time to be in trucking, isn't it? What do you think?
There couldn't be a better time to be in trucking than right now. I mean, the demand is high. Drivers, get out there, make the money right now. You should be extremely busy. If you're not busy, you need to make a change because there's a lot of demand out there. We have numerous jobs open right now. Most of them are local, regional jobs where you can have a regular schedule, some good work-life balance. And right now you can earn up to $10,000 sign-on bonus. Over half of our openings right now have a sign-on bonus of some magnitude on that individual driving job. So great time to be a truck driver, great time to be at JB Hunt. And what we like to say around here is we want to give you a better job and a better life.
You know, Craig, I know you work very directly
Mark?
with. Go ahead one more time. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, what they can do is go out there and online look at drivejbhunt.com. That's drivejbhunt.com, or they can call 1-800-2JB-HUNT. Again, that's 1-800-2JB-HUNT.
All right, outstanding, sir. And I know you work very closely with Shelley Simpson, the Executive Vice President, Chief Commercial Officer, and President of the Highway Services at JB Hunt Transport. And Shelley, I want to welcome you to the program. I know you follow the numbers very, very closely out there, and Craig was mentioning it is a good time to be in trucking right now. What is driving freight demand at the moment? So where do you see it from your vantage point? Welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Mark. And it's not a good time, it's a great time, an unprecedented time to be in trucking right now. And we're seeing high demand from our customers, driven primarily from what's happening from a consumer perspective. So what we're doing, Mark, and I think if you look at the swings that have occurred just in the market in general, we went from, a low point in April to a high point through May and June. That's how much the swing was in different retail categories. Mm-hmm. And that swing has been so significant from a consumer spending perspective that for our customers, they have struggled to forecast demand, because us as consumers aren't the most predictable right now as to what's happening from a demand perspective. And then finally, inventory to sales ratio is fairly low. And so our customers are trying to get products to the shelf for those of us that are walking into or ordering online. And then finally, e-commerce is certainly driving big numbers across our industry. And it's causing some of the dislocation that you're seeing out in the market, Mark, between where shippers normally would ship and where carriers would normally be. And that's what you're seeing, that friction that's happening in the market. And I would say a lot of demand, not enough supply, so not enough drivers for what our customers are looking for right now. So that's something we're constantly working with them on. How can we help solve for our customers' needs? And it's a perfect time to be driving today.
And when you look at some of the overall factors like construction, which is booming right now, Shelley, is that adding to both flatbed demand and the demand for workers out there? How do you view that?
Yeah, of course it does. I think also, Mark, just the economic stimulus that's occurred over the last couple of months has given us as consumers more confidence. I think that's what's having people do more, whether it's in construction or just how we're purchasing. If you look just early on, we were purchasing only essential items. That's really moved as a full economy to us purchasing things like furniture and back to clothing, and some of the marks that have gone up significantly, building material, garden, all of that you're just talking about, those are up. But the ones that are up substantially, I would say, motor vehicle, anything to do with an outdoor activity, and then some of the things that are just fun and for hobbies, you're starting to see that continue to pick up in demand.
Shelley, what's really interesting about the trucking industry is the fact there are so many different platforms, so many different facets of the supply chain that have got to be watched and followed very closely. And technology is really changing the process of all of this when it comes to freight selection. Talk about JB Hunt 360. How does that work? How did the idea come about, the growth plans for the future, and points and maybe reward structure, bonus features involved with that?
You bet, Mark. So our mission at JB Hunt is to create the most efficient transportation network in North America. And if you think of the waste that is out there for all of the drivers on the road, all 3.5 million drivers, nearly 1/3 of all hours available in a day are wasted. And we think that a large contributor to that is just lack of information and access. And that's exactly what we've done with JB Hunt 360, allowing information like loads that are available, what the price is, what the amenities look like, what's the rating from past drivers, giving information straight to the drivers so that they can select what shipment works best for them. We believe we can impact at a minimum 1 more hour on the road or to do what a driver chooses to do. If we're successful in that, Mark, as a full industry, we're going to put a 13% pay increase right in the pockets of our drivers and also 13% more capacity on behalf of our customers. So it's really our online platform that enables our shippers access to trucks and our trucks access to the loads that they want. So no more of everyone trying to talk each other into things. It's all transparent, real-time information. Think of it like e-commerce, your favorite .com website that you ship from or that you buy from. Mark, exact same thing when it comes to loads that are available for drivers out there.
I would imagine, Shelley, that one of the most gratifying parts of all of this is hearing feedback from those that are utilizing JB Hunt 360. I would imagine you've gotten a lot of great comments from those that have used it. And talk about that. That's really some great, valuable input as to how maybe JB Hunt can maybe take it to the next level. What do you think?
Yeah, Mark, one of my favorite things is to be in a driver roundtable and get feedback, and that's with carriers and drivers. And we're really looking for what do they need to make their day more efficient? What are they looking for? What information do they want to see? We're big on transparency. We don't think information should be hidden. We think the more transparent we are, the better it is. But you know what I love to hear are stories where we, through our platform, that those hardworking carriers and drivers are able to add more trucks, and they're growing their fleet, and they're able to have choice, and they really see that as an enabler for growth for them. So it's a great way to take a small and mid-sized business and extend them into, a really big company that has access to the world's largest shippers that would be really difficult to know who to call. It's like being the bridge between the biggest of shippers and the smallest of carriers and really creating a more equal playing field. And those are the stories I love to hear. We've seen several carriers grow their truck count from just 5 trucks to 30 trucks. And those are stories. That's the American dream. That's everything that we always think about. That was Mr. Hunt's dream, right? To allow drivers to really have a successful career. And that's something that we think JB Hunt 360 is enabling in the market.
Hey, you mentioned Mr. Hunt, and I've got about 2 minutes left, and I think you'll like this story. There was an article up on CNBC earlier today that Union Pacific is extremely proud. They're celebrating their 150th year on the New York Stock Exchange. So they are one of the longest companies in America out there, and I was remembering back to the story of Mr. Hunt and the vision that he had of forming that partnership with the railroads many, many years ago. It's that kind of insight that has led J.B. Hunt to lead in the industry here. Got about a minute left.
Yeah,
what do you think?
Yeah, he had great vision. He always said today's going to be a big day, and he never thought that today would be average. He knew that our drivers were capable of so much more and pushed us internally and externally. And last, I'll leave you with a Mrs. Hunt story, something she says all the time, is she still gets chills when she goes down the highway and she sees a J.B. Hunt truck. And that's exactly how we feel right now when we see JB Hunt out there on the road. So thank you for what you do, and be safe.
All right, outstanding. Shelley, thank you. Let's get the website out there for JB Hunt 360 as well, where drivers can reach that right now. What's the best site for that? Where can it go?
So, Mark, jbhunt.com. Very simple. You can look for driving jobs there, and you can also access JB Hunt 360, and you can also look for us in the App Store under JB Hunt 360 Carriers.
All right, outstanding. Shelley, thank you. I got a break here for a few minutes. I got a news update coming up around the corner, and I want you to stick around. The great folks at JB Hunt are on board, and we're celebrating the American truck driver. It is Truck Driver Appreciation Awareness Week. We are going to be talking about safety when we come back on the other side.
Celebrate the drivers during Road Dog Trucking's Driver Appreciation Week special broadcast on SiriusXM Channel 146 and the app. Here's Mark Willis.
All right, guys, let's get back to the conversation. Yeah, we are celebrating the American truck driver all this week. Greer Woodruff is on now, and his career spans over 32 years at J.B. Hunt Transport, where he currently serves as the Senior Vice President of Safety, Security, and Driver Personnel. And Greer played a very key role in establishing J.B. Hunt's safety culture and assumes responsibility for the company's driver recruiting, driver training, safety programs, equipment technologies, and Greer. The list goes on, and it is really good to talk with you, my friend. It's great to have you back on the radio. Let's talk about this, an overall statement, if you will, about the importance of safety for the industry, the role of the driver out there, and the role of the company in driving the safety mission. Welcome back.
Hey, Mark, good to join you again. And yeah, there's nothing more important to safety than the man or woman behind the wheel. We do a lot of other things, including deploying safety technologies. But the fact is that the person behind the wheel is the most important component to driving safely. And I know there's a lot of great drivers listening today out across the country that have driven miles and miles and miles safely. And, we want to thank you for what you do for our country.
Greer, one of the most important things for a lot of the drivers out there, of course, is going to be the latest technology, latest equipment out there to keep the drivers and the motoring public safe. Talk about the company investment in that side of it, if you will.
Sure. We have made quite an investment over the last several years in technologies. Of course, one of the simplest ones that people don't always think about are speed limiters, which we do limit speed. Most trucks manufactured since 1992 have a speed limiter on them, and they just need to be set for those that want to put some type of limit on that. And so we've done that. We've also added forward collision warning systems, which are some of which are radar-based and some are a combination of radar and video technology. We started doing that in 2011 and now have about 96% of our fleet has some type of forward collision warning system on those, and we've had a number of drivers who have thanked us for putting those on and have saved them in certain circumstances. It's hard to have attention on the driving task 100% of the time, and this technology can help when there's momentary lapses in attention. And then we've seen a lot of benefits from forward-facing cameras, where we're able to have a better understanding of what's transpiring in certain circumstances, and we're able to see the involvement of other motorists in near misses or accidents, and in many cases those exonerate the driver and in some cases the company. So the drivers have been appreciative of us keeping a lookout ahead for them with that video technology.
You mentioned the safety being job number one, of course, and the newest 3, 4, 5 million mile safe drivers out there. Man, there's some great stories at J.B. Hunt and how they've made safety their life work, and they put that technology to work to make it safe out there. Share some of those stories, if you will.
Well, I mentioned we've had some drivers that, have had near misses. One that comes to my mind was a driver in Louisville that had someone making a right-hand turn in front of him, and another vehicle encroached upon the car that was making the turn, and they were not able to complete their turn as quickly as most of us would anticipate that they would get out of the lane. And the system was able to brake on behalf of the driver, slow it down more quickly than the way the driver would have been able to respond. And that driver was able to tell us that it helped him avoid a rear-end crash. So that's just one example where we've seen it help, but all of our drivers are now using that technology successfully. And if you drive the way that you should drive with good space and following distance, you rarely have the system intervene, rarely get alerts. But when other vehicles cut in front of you and slow down, and things like that happen, it certainly helps.
I've got a few minutes left, Greer, before I got to break one more time. I know, of course, that you follow all of the things going on as far as the regulatory process is concerned. I know you've been watching a proposal to make drug testing using hair mandatory in trucking nearly ready for public comment after being reviewed by the White House Office of Management and Budget. Regulators have confirmed. What is your thoughts on that overall as far as maybe raising the safety bar with that? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I would. That got published late last week in the Federal Register. The comments are due by November 9th, and it would allow hair testing to be an alternative specimen for federal agencies to use. And so if this were to pass, FMCSA or DOT would have to pass enabling regulations to allow the use of hair testing. It would not make those be mandatory, but it would allow carriers to use hair testing for pre-employment and random testing if they chose to do so. And I know a lot of companies that would like to do hair testing if they didn't have to duplicate the hair with a currently required urine test. I've been a proponent of hair testing for a long time. J.B. Hunt's been doing it since 2006. We have seen a 5.5% greater detection than urine testing, longer detection window, 60 to 90 days versus 2 to 3 days with urine. It's harder to adulterate and substitute. And so we've seen our post-accident positive drug tests, our random DOT urine tests have all tremendously declined, lowering our risk. So I've been a proponent for a long time. There was a recent study by the University of Central Arkansas that looked at over 151,000 commercial drivers and their hair and urine test results, and they determined that they could use that data to generalize across the national driver population with 99% accuracy.
Greer, hold the thought just for a minute. I do have to break one more time. I'll keep you over for about another minute or so when we come back on the other side. Stay with us, drivers. It is Truck Driver Appreciation Awareness Week. The folks at JB Hunt are with me. I'll be right back.
You're listening to Road Dog Trucking's Driver Appreciation Week special broadcast on SiriusXM Channel 146 and the app. Here's Mark Willis.
All right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being out there, and great to have Greer Woodruff on. He's been at JB Hunt for 32 years, and Greer, we were saying into the break that there's a lot of items that are on the table for consideration, considering hair testing for the trucking industry. And pick it up from there. You are in support of that, correct?
Yes, I am. And one of the reasons I am is that this is a safety-sensitive job. You know, it requires a professional, and a professional doesn't consume alcohol and get behind the wheel or is not a lifestyle drug user. And I feel like the small number of drivers that are using drugs and operating a commercial motor vehicle are tarnishing the reputation of the overwhelming majority of drivers that remain drug-free and understand the seriousness of the job. And as I was mentioning, this UCA study concluded that there's over 300,000 commercial motor vehicle operators that couldn't pass a hair test today. So I would like means to identify them and either get them the help that they need or encourage them to pursue some other profession.
This is, I think, a great point to make as well, is that when stories like this do come up, you, of course, speak with Craig Harper and Shelley Simpson. I know you guys work very much directly with each other with different things going on in the industry. And Craig, thank you again for coming on board. And it's that great collaborative process that is at JB Hunt when you are talking with Shelley and with Greer that really makes trucking an incredible field. Great successes there, right? Talk about the collaborative effort underway at JB Hunt and how that spells success for the drivers out there.
Yeah, Yeah, absolutely. You know, you've asked me before what's kept me here 28 years,
Yes.
and it's that collaboration and the respect that you have for the people that you work with. And you obviously heard from two of them today, with Shelley, Simpson, and Greer, Woodruff. And then, we got people like our CEO and president, who obviously John's been here now over 30 years. Tremendous amount of respect for his leadership, and Nick Hobbs, again, another 30-plus year veteran, and Eric McGee and Darren Field and Brad Hicks. It's just it's a tremendous team. And, when you are able to work with people and get in the trenches with them, and you see how they respond in tough times, and, it hadn't all been roses around here. We've had some good years and fantastic years, and we've had some rough years. But you see how people are willing to roll up their sleeves and do what's right and work hard and work our way through this. And, again, that goes back to, our founders. Miss Hunt told me one day that they came in, this was years ago, and thought the company was going to have to file bankruptcy on a Friday. They talked about it. And
Sure.
so they went home that weekend, got some good sleep, and came back to work and worked all the way through it. And, boy, I sure am glad they did, because now there's 30,000 people that count on this company each and every day to pay their bills, pay that house payment, car payment, get their kids in school, and put food on the table. So very appreciative of this company, what it stands for.
You mentioned the numbers of people that are working there and the exciting ideas that go on each and every day, and that's got to really make it so inspirational for everybody that's coming on board. Talk about it, the fact that it's an exciting place, new ideas, new initiatives that welcomes all that come through the front doors, don't they?
Yeah, when you look at it, obviously J.B. Hunt started out as a pure trucking company, and you and Shelley talked about the partnership, the relationship that was formed with the Burlington Northern, now the BNSF and J.B. Hunt, and that vision. And I was coming on board right then. Back in, I started in '92, and they worked out that agreement in '89, and it was just starting to take hold. And we were bringing on containers, and people thought Mr. Hunt was crazy, with a railroader and a trucker getting together, but he had that vision. Well, the same way with our dedicated business and our intermodal business, now JB Hunt 360. So we're always looking for that new way to, it's going to be disrupt. We got to disrupt our business, and because if we don't disrupt it, somebody else is going to, and there's always going to be a new way, and that's how you continue to exist for the 59 years that we've been here. You got to keep looking for new ways to do business, and bring that on and invite it and accept it.
Yeah, absolutely. Craig, give us some words of encouragement for the drivers out there. They've got a lot on the plate, obviously, with COVID-19 going on and staying safe out there on the roadway. Words of encouragement for your drivers out there.
Yeah. First off, know how much all of us really appreciate what you do each and every day, and know how important you are to your family, to all your loved ones, and they want you home safe. We want you home safe. We want you out there doing what you do every day so well, protecting our highways and the motoring public. And know that you're in a great industry. You're in an industry that, just like our company I was going through, has had its ups and downs. And right now, it is on an up. And, let's get out there. Let's keep our country moving. Give people the hope and prove to them that you can get out there and open this country up safely, that we can bring everybody back to work. We can be the great America that we have been many years. And just so proud of all you do, proud of our country. And wear the logo. For all you JB Hunt drivers, that yellow logo, wear it with a lot of pride and know what it stands for. And for all of us in the U.S. to be so thankful we're here. And thank you for making America the great country it is.
Well, let me ask you this, Craig. Many years' experience in the office there with you, Greer, Shelley. Where do you think the industry is going to be 10 years from now? Is there going to be more changes coming about, more digital technology? Will the roads become safer? Where do you see the industry a decade from now?
Yes, I do think there's going to be more technology, and I think the vehicles will be able to communicate with each other, the vehicle-to-vehicle communication and vehicle-to-infrastructure communication. So I do think there's a lot of encouraging technology that can make things safer. I want to see us get away from paper. We have a product, electronic bill of lading, and it's gaining acceptance out there, but there should be no reason for us to have paper in this business anymore. So I think you'll continue to see changes like that with innovation that make the job safer, can make parts of the job easier, but we all know every time we we take away one hassle, there seems to be another one that pops up. But yeah, it's going to be an industry, though, that's going to continue to grow. I mean, our population is expected to grow, freight movement's expected to grow. So our drivers, the men and women that are out there today, I think they have a long career to look forward to, and one that's obviously proved how valuable it is. And all of us, again, are so appreciative of what you do.
You know, it's really an incredible situation when you talk with the drivers directly out there. I know many come to your office and just have sat down at your office there and told you about what's going on with them, and you got to take a lot of inspiration from that, right? That there's a great open door policy there. Folks can walk in and just let you know what they're seeing from out there from behind the wheel, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It is truly an open door policy here. I've given my number out on the radio, and we invite people to call us, and I'll give it out again now. It's 479-236-8104. And so if somebody says they can't get in touch with me, something's wrong, because that's my phone number. And we always don't have the answer everybody wants to hear, but we'll tell you exactly the way we see it. And the reason I like to talk to drivers so much, if they tell me 10 things, there'll be 6 that I'll be able to explain to them, and they'll understand. Even if they don't truly agree with the answer, they'll understand. But there'll be 2 things that I didn't even know that were going on, and I say, good grief, we got to go look at those right now. And then there'll be 2 things I'll say, you know what, we do need to change that right now. So keep the calls coming, keep the messages coming, and we'll continue to get better together.
Well, I want to thank all 3 of you for joining me on the program to talk with the drivers about Truck Driver Appreciation Awareness Week and the great things you guys are doing at JB Hunt to celebrate the truck driver out there as they roll across this great land of ours. Craig, before I let you go, let's get the websites out there again, social media. Can they call you guys directly? What's the best way to reach you through those platforms?
Yeah, an easy way is just go to jbhunt.com, and you can go through that and get anywhere you want to in the company. If you're looking specifically for driver jobs, go to drivejbhunt.com, and you can put in your zip code, and we'll show all the job openings right there in your area. And then you can call 1-800-2JB-HUNT. But again, drivejbhunt.com for driver jobs. And we'd love to hear from you. We got literally hundreds of opportunities right now and paying up to a $10,000 sign-on bonus. So we'd love to see you.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys next year when we get back to the Staircase celebration. And thank you again for a great hour here on the program. And again, that's the great folks at JB Hunt talking about what's going on at the company and celebration of Truck Driver Appreciation Awareness Week. Shelley Simpson has been on board, the Executive Vice President, Chief Commercial Officer, President of Highway Services at JB Hunt Transport. Craig Harper, Executive Vice President, Chief Operations Officer, along with Greer Woodruff. His career spans 32 years at JB Hunt Transport.